resignation of Veterans Affairs Secretary Eric Shinseki just weeks ago. But not so fast. We're awaiting the results of a new internal report from the VA later this morning. And on the Hill, the House Veterans Affairs Committee will be holding a hearing on the scandal later today. It was the focus of the GOP's weekly address Saturday, delivered by the chairman of that committee, Florida Representative Jeff Miller.
This is the biggest health care scandal in the VA's history, and America deserves to know whether the president is committed to doing whatever it takes to make things right. You deserve to know whether he will personally step in and see this through.
Joining me now is Florida Republican Congressman Jeff Miller. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Richard.
Let's start with this, though. Shouldn't your committee, though, hold some of the responsibility along with the president here?
Oh, there's plenty of blame if you want. You should take some of the blame, too. The media just now started paying attention to the 42 oversight hearings that our committee has held in the 113th Congress. We have appropriated every dollar the president and the Veterans Administration has asked for, every person that they've asked for. We are the ones that brought this issue to light in a hearing on April the 9th. So, you know, if blaming me would solve it, blame me.
So if we were to blame you, what would you change then?
Well, we've already sent 9 bills over to the Senate, one that gives the Secretary the authority to fire people that won't do their jobs. Certainly, we believe that there's criminality involved in what's going on. We think that there are a lot of people that are embedded into this bureaucracy of 330,000 people that know they're going to be there longer than the president will be in the White House and any secretary is going to be in the cabinet.
Congressman, what's your thought here? Because on the Senate side, they've also come up with an agreement that would allow the firing, if you will, of high executives in the VA that are responsible for this debacle.
Well, I appreciate the Senate taking my bill and actually passing it.
So you guys are in agreement then?
That's what we're talking about. I mean, we have 12 bills sitting over there right now, 9 of which have been sitting over there for months. So this great idea that they came up with last week is nothing new. It's something that we have been pushing the Senate to do. In fact, out of the 42 oversight hearings that we've done, the Senate has only done 7.
So you will take what the Senate is doing right now and put that together?
Oh, no. The Senate is going to take what we have put together and cobble it together. We have to work together. That's the way it's supposed to work, just like the Congress is supposed to be a co-equal branch in the Constitution to the White House. And the White House has been looking at us as if we aren't a part of the picture. Congress and the White House should be working together to fix this problem. The veterans served us. We should serve them.
I want to switch to another subject that you made comments on, that's Bo Bergdahl. And we have those new details about how he might have been in captivity here, a small box, if you will, very dark. Does that change your view on this deal? You were critical of it.
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, the deal for 5 of the worst Taliban that were in Gitmo, that was not a good deal at all. The more we learn about it, the more we know that it's not something that our administration should have done. Certainly, anybody that is held in captivity against their will, we have to bring them back and reintegrate them and try to figure out what happened while they were in captivity. But again, there are so many questions that are still unanswered. That's why our Armed Services Committee will, in fact, be holding hearings.
What do you make of
week.
Secretary Kerry's comments, though, that they can be followed, that they will be keeping an eye on them? Maybe even a veiled threat that, you know.
If I were to make that threat, or another administration were to make that threat, I'd have a whole lot of belief that it would happen. This administration, I have no belief that they're going to do that. And that's what worries a lot of Americans out there. And for Secretary Kerry to be the one that's out front right now is not one that instills a great deal of confidence in me.
Moving to your great state of Florida, which many of us love to follow, especially coming up to 2016. On the issue of climate change, Governor Rick Scott, as well as Senator Marco Rubio, both questioning the science of climate change. And when you look at one of the recent polls, it shows here, and I'll just give you some of the numbers here, on climate change, who do you trust more on the issue? Scientists, 56%, or Senator Marco Rubio, 33%. And Democrats, as you well know in your state, going to be focusing on this issue as they move forward in 14 as well as 16. Does this not bode well, then, for Republicans if they go up against this idea?
Well, I think anybody would answer a poll and say that they believe the scientist, but you've got to understand, it's not settled science. The issue of climate change has been happening for a long time. And for us to be able to think that we, as a matter of fact, can change what's going on right now to any substantive measure is really kind of foolish, in
But does
my
that concern
opinion.
you, though? Is it really foolish, though? Because when we just look at the politics here, and if Democrats will use this issue, and
that's what they're doing, using it as a political issue.
Does this concern you, though, when you look at 14 and 16?
No, I'm
to swing the moderates when they look
I'm
at this
concerned
issue
with
of
the
climate
truth.
change.
And the truth is, climate has been changing for a long time. They call it global warming, global cooling. Now that everybody wants to call it climate change, yes, the climate is changing. But it has been doing that for centuries. And for us to say that it is a settled argument right now, I think, again, is a foolish argument to make, because there are scientists on both sides of the issue that say that it is not settled.
So you agree that it is changing?
Oh, I've never said that it wasn't changing.
To a deleterious effect?
It changes. It gets hot, it gets cold. It's done it for as long as we have measured the climate.
But man-made, isn't that the question?
Then why did the dinosaurs go extinct? Were there men that were causing, were there cars running around at that point that were causing global warming? No. The climate has changed since Earth was created.
All right, so neither of us are scientists on this. We'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for stopping by. We covered a lot of ground today here. Representative Jeff Miller, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, checking the news feed this